This song is called Parker's Restaurant, and it's about Parker and a restaurant. But Parker's Restaurant is not the name of the restaurant. That's just the name of the song, and that's why I call the song here Parker's Restaurant. You know, you can get anything you want at Parker's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Parker's Restaurant. Walk right in, baby, it's around the back. It's just right next to the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Parker's Restaurant. You can walk out now. Now, you know, it all started 2 Thanksgivings ago. It was two years ago on Thanksgiving when my friend and I went up to visit Parker at the restaurant. But Parker don't live in the restaurant, man. He lives in the church nearby the restaurant. You know, they're in the bell tower with a wife and kids, you know, and a dog. And living in a bell tower like that, you know, they got a lot of room downstairs where the pews used to be, you know. And seeing as they have all that room and taking out the pews, they decided that they didn't have to take out their garbage for a very, very long time. So but we got there, we found all the garbage in there, and we decided it'd be a friendly gesture for us to, you know, take the garbage down to the city dump. So, you know, we took a half ton of garbage, we put it in the back of a red VW microbus, and took shovels and rakes and implements of destruction and headed toward the city dump now. Well, when we got there, there was a huge sign and a chain across the dump saying, closed on Thanksgiving. You know, well, we never heard of a dump closed on Thanksgiving before. With tears in our eyes, we drove off into the sunset, looking for another place to put the garbage. Yeah. Come on, honey. But we didn't find one. That is until we came to a side road, and off the side of the side road there was another 15-foot cliff, and well, at the bottom of the cliff there was another pile of garbage, and well, we decided one pile would be better than 2, and rather than bring that one up, we threw ours down. You know, that's what we did. You know, drove back to the church, had a Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat, and we went to sleep and didn't get up the next morning. That's when we got a phone call from Officer Obi. He said, "Kid, they found your name on an envelope at the bottom pile of half a ton of garbage. I just wanted to know if you had any information about that." I said, "Officer Roby, I cannot tell a lie. I put that envelope under that garbage." And after speaking to Roby for about 45 minutes on the telephone, we finally arrived at the truth of the matter and said that we had to go down to pick up the garbage and also had to go down and speak to him at the police officer station. So we got in the red VW microbus with the shovels and rakes and the implements of destruction and headed on toward the police officer station. Now, friends, there was only one of 2 things that Obi could have done at that police station. And the first was he could have given us a medal for being so brave and honest on the telephone, which wasn't very likely, and you know, we didn't expect it. And the other thing is that he could have bawled us out and told us never to be seen driving garbage around the vicinity again. You know, it's, to be honest, it's a lot closer to what we expected. That's not what happened. It's not what happened, because there was a third possibility. There was a third possibility that we hadn't even counted upon, and we were both immediately arrested. Handcuffs. I said, Obi, I don't think I can pick up the garbage with these handcuffs on. He said, shut up, kid. Get in the back of the patrol car. That's what we did. And we sat in the back of the patrol car and drove to the quote unquote scene of the crime, unquote, quote unquote, scene of the quote. I want to tell you about the town in New Brunswick, New Jersey, okay, where this happened. They got 3 stop signs, 2 police officers, 1 police car. But when we got to the scene of the crime, there was 5 police officers, 3 police cars, being the biggest crime of the last 50 years, and everybody wanted to get in on it. They're using all kinds of cop equipment, and they're hanging around the police station. They were taking plaster tire tracks, footprints, dog-smelling prints. They took 27 8x10 color glossy photographs with circles and arrows in a paragraph on the back of each one, explaining what each one was to be used as evidence against us. Now, they took pictures of the approach, of the getaway, of the northwest corner and the southwest corner, and not to mention the aerial photography, you know. Anyway, after the ordeal, we went back to jail. Obi said he was gonna put us in a cell. He said, kid, I'm gonna put you in a cell. I want your wallet and your belt. I said, Obi, I could understand you want my wallet so I don't have to spend no money in the cell, but what do you want my belt for? He said, kid, we don't want any hangings. I said, Obi, did you think I was gonna hang myself for littering? Well, Obi said he was making sure, and friends Obi was, because he took the toilet seat out so I couldn't hit myself over the head and drown. And he took the toilet paper so I couldn't bend the bars, roll out the toilet paper out the window, slide down the roll, and have an escape. Now, Obi was making sure, and it was about 4 or 5 hours later that Parker... Do you remember Parker? It's a song about Parker. Parker came by with a few nasty words to Obi on the side and bailed us out of jail. Thanks, Parker. We went back to the church, you know. Had another Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat. Didn't get up till the next morning when we all had to go to court. Walked in, sat down. Obi came in with the 27 8x10 color glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and the paragraph on the back of each one, and sat down. The man came in and said, all rise, and we stood up. And Obi stood up with the 27 8x10 color glossy pictures, and the judge walked in and sat down with a CNI dog. He sat down. We sat down, and Obi looked at the CNI dog. And then at the 27 8x10 color glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and the paragraph on the back of each one, looked at the CNI dog. And then at the 27 8x10 color glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and the paragraph on the back of each one, began to cry because Obi came to the realization that was just a typical case of American blind justice, and there wasn't nothing he could do about it, and the judge wasn't gonna look at these 27 8x10 color glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and the paragraph on the back of each one, explaining what each one was to be used as evidence against us. We was fined $50 and had to pick up the garbage in the snow, but it's not what I came here to tell you about. I came to talk about the draft. They got a building down in New York City. It's called Whitehall Street, where you walk in, you get injected, inspected, detected, infected, neglected, and selected. I went down to get my physical examination one day, and I walked in, sat down, got good and drunk the night before. So I looked and felt my best when I went in that morning, because I wanted to look like the all-American kid from New York City. And man, you know, I wanted to be the American kid from New York. And I walked in, I sat down, I was hung down, brung down, hung up with all kind of mean, nasty, ugly things. And I walked in, sat down, and gave me a piece of paper that said, "Kid, see the psychiatrist. Room 604. I went up there, I said, "Shrink, I want to kill. I want to kill. I want to kill. See, I want to see blood, gut, and gore, and veins in my teeth. And I eat dead bird bodies. Kill. I started jumping up and down, yelling, kill, and kill. And he started jumping up and down, yelling, kill. He was both jumping up and down, yelling, kill. The sergeant came over and pinned a medal on me, sent me down. He said, you're a boy. I didn't feel too good about it now. And I proceeded down the hall, getting more injections, inspections, detections, neglections, and all that kind of stuff. And as they was doing that to me there, I was there for 2 hours, 3 hours, was it? 4 hours. I was there a long time, going through all kinds of mean and nasty, ugly things, but I was just having a tough time there, and there was inspecting, injecting every single part of me. They was leaving no part untouched. I proceeded through. When I finally came to the last minute and walked in and sat down after a whole big thing there, and I walked up and he said, "What do you want?" He said, "Kid, we only got one question. Have you ever been arrested?" I proceeded to tell him the story of Alice's restaurant and Parker's restaurant, Master Creed, with full orchestration and 5-part harmony and stuff like that, and all this fun. He stopped me right there. He said, "Kid, did you ever go to court?" And I proceeded to tell him the story of the 27 8x10 color glossy pictures with the circles and arrows and the paragraph on the back of each one. And he stopped me right there and he said, "Kid, I want you to go sit down on that bench that says Group W. Now, kid." And I walked over to the bench there. You know, the group W is where they put you. Is where they put you if you may not be moral enough to join the army after committing your special crime. There was all kinds of mean and nasty looking people on the bench there. Mother rapers, father stabbers, father rapers sitting right there on the bench next to me. There was mean and nasty and ugly and horrible crime type guy sitting on the bench next to me, and the meanest, ugliest, nasty one, and the meanest, ugliest, nastiest father raper of them all. He sat down next to me and said, "Kid, what'd you get?" I said, I didn't get nothing. I had to pick $50 and I had to pick up the garbage. He said, "What were you arrested for?" "Kid," I said, "littering." And they all moved away from me on the bench there. Hairy eyeball, kinds of mean, nasty things, and I said, and creating a nuisance. and then they all came back over, shook my hand. We had a great time sitting on the bench there talking about crime and, mother stabbing, father raping, all kinds of groovy things. They were just talking on the bench, man. Everything fine, and then we were smoking cigarettes, all kinds of things till the sergeant came over, had some kind of paper in his hand, held it up, and he said, "Get this kind of piece of paper, got the 47 words, 37 steps, the 58 words, we got 85 details, we want to know the details of the crime, the time of the crime, any other thing you committed, you pertaining about the crime, we want to know the rest of the officer's name, you got to talk about we talked for 45 minutes, just like that. Nobody understood a word of what he was saying, and then we had fun filling out the forms, though, playing with the pencils on the bench, that kind of thing. And, I told him I filled out the massacre with the 4-part harmony, SATB, I wrote it down there just like it was, and everything was fine. I put down the pencil and turned it over to a piece of paper, and there on the other side, in the middle of the other side, away from everything else on the other side, in parentheses, capital letters, quotated, read the following words: "Kid, have you rehabilitated yourself?" I walked over to the sergeant and I said, you got a lot of damn gall to ask me if I've rehabilitated myself. I mean, it's just on the bench here. I'm sitting on the group W bench, because you want to know if I'm moral enough to join the army, burn women, houses, villages, and kids after being a litter bug. Looked at me and he said, "Kid, we don't like your kind. And we're gonna send your fingerprints off to Washington." And friends, somewhere in Washington, enshrined in some little folder, is a study in black and white of my fingerprints. And the only reason I'm singing you this song now is because you may know somebody in a similar situation, or you may be in a similar situation. And if you're in a situation like that, there's only one thing you can do, and that's you walk into the shrink's office, wherever you are, you just walk in, you say, "Shrink, you can get anything you want at Parker's restaurant." You walk out, right? If one person, just one person does it, they may think he's really sick, and they won't take him. And if two people do it, in harmony, well, they'll think they're both faggots, so they won't take either of them. 3 people, well, 3 people do it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? 3 people walking in, singing a bar, Parker's restaurant, and walking out. They may think it's an organization. And you, can you imagine 50 people? 50 people a day. I said 50 people a day walking in, singing a bar, Parker's restaurant, and walking out. Friends, they may think it's a movement. And that's what it is. It's the Parker's Restaurant Anti-Massacre Movement. And all you gotta do to join is sing it the next time it comes around here on the guitar now. With feeling. So we'll wait for it to come around on the guitar. Right? Help me sing it when it does, you know. My voice is all messed up. I can't even. Here it comes. You can get anything you want at Parker's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Parker's Restaurant. And walk right in. It's a roundabout right next to the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Parker's Restaurant. Oh, come on, Chad. That was horrible. Didn't know nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing, man. Come on, yo. All right. So now we're gonna wait for it to come around again. You see what you've done? You can get anything you want at Parker's Restaurant. It's Hampton Parker, and you can get anything you want at Parker's Restaurant. We'll walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile railroad track. You can get anything you want at Parker's Restaurant. Da 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 da. At Parker's Restaurant. Just right next to that railroad track, boy, isn't it ever? Yo, that was a lot of fun.